Hello everyone, welcome to DigiGlobe Solutions. In this video, we are going to see how to find a factorial of a given number using two very basic approaches, that is our iterative approach and the second one is recursive approach. So the very first way is we will be using iterative approach. Simply we'll be using a loop to multiply the numbers from 1 to n. Let's check this out. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to get the input from the user. So let us declare a variable num and we'll take it from the user by giving a prompt. So we'll just say that enter your number. Yeah, that is how we take input from the user. And now we'll create a function which will find the recursion, which will find the factorial of the number and it will return the output. Okay. So the factorial of the given number is, and we'll write the function directly. So factorial using iterative approach, iterative way, and we'll pass our number as an argument to it and then we'll print it. Okay, so this is a basic signature. Now let us create this function. So what we are trying to return, we need to calculate in general what do you mean by factorial. Factorial is nothing but calculating the multiplication from 1 to n. For example, if you want to find out a factorial of n, you have to multiply the numbers from n till 1. Okay, so this is what factorial. So we'll multiply and we'll return the same integer value, right? So the return type is also int. So we'll be returning int and the name of the function is factorial. We'll just copy this and we'll paste. Okay. Yeah, factorial using iterative way. And what we'll be passing as in parameter, we need a number, right? So which we get from the user. Now, as we know that we'll be starting from n and we'll be going till 1. So we'll be reducing 1 by 1 by 1 and we'll be multiplying each and every number from 1 to n. We'll be returning this as an output. So in order to store the answer, we need to store the answer in a third variable or another variable. Let us name the variable as int result. Okay, as we are multiplying, the default value is 1. Now I'll write a for loop which goes till 1 to n, and if you think properly, we know the number of iterations, that is we are going to do this process for n times, right? So the number of iterations is known, that is why we'll be using for loop. So whenever you know the number of iterations, you can use your for loop. So I'll say that I'll initialize a variable with 1 and semicolon, and the condition is very simple. I'll go till n, right? That is why we are using less than or equals to n, and I'll increment by 1 each and every time. Now result is equals to the previous result into I. Okay, you can even use shorthand operator as well. Simply you can eliminate all this and just say that star equals to I. Now we'll calculate the multiplication from 1 and it will go till n. So we got our result and finally we'll be returning our result. So this is a very basic approach, the iterative approach. You'll just use a for loop and you'll multiply the numbers from 1 till n. Now let us run whether our program is running properly or not. So we'll calculate the factorial of 3. Of course, the factorial of the given number is 6. Let us run this again and we'll find the factorial of 5. So the output is the factorial of the given number is 120. So it is working absolutely fine. So this is one way of finding the factorial using iterative approach. Then what is the second easiest way? It is using the recursive approach. In general, what do you mean by recursion? Very simple. You'll be breaking down the very huge problem into smaller parts. Okay, you'll have a bigger problem. You'll break down that problem into smaller divisions and you'll calculate. That means you will either find or you'll multiply all the smaller part answers and you'll find the solution for a biggest problem. So that is what in general recursion means. So you'll be doing the same thing until a specific condition is met. That is a base condition. In this approach, the function calls itself with n minus 1 until it reaches the base case when n is 0 or 1. Okay, so let us declare one more function for recursion. So here also we'll be returning the same thing, that is int, so factorial, using recursive approach, and we'll be passing the same variable as the parameter our n. Okay, so here what we are going to do, we have the base condition. We are writing a base condition telling that, see, if the number is less than 1 or if the number is equals to 0 or 1, so factorial of 0 or factorial of 1 is nothing but 1, right? So in the same way we'll write this base condition. So if the given number is less than or equals to 1, don't think about it anything, just return 1. Okay, you'll be returning 1. So we are done with the base condition, and then what we are trying to return, you'll just return the multiplication of n with the factorial. You'll be writing again the same function. So until the base condition is met, this function will be running. So you'll be writing the same function. Let us copy the function name and let us replace over here, and you'll run from n minus 1. So this is how you'll be writing the code for recursive way. So you have the base condition, then you'll break down the bigger problem into smaller parts using this recursive approach. So we'll be returning n into the same function factorial using recursive way of n minus 1. So here the assumption is the factorial of n minus 1 is also a valid solution. So whenever you're writing recursive solutions, you have to make an assumption that the factorial or the main function of the remaining problem, the smaller parts, has to be valid. So that is what your assumption is. So that is how we find the recursion using factorial using recursion. So let us replace this function using this factorial using recursive approach. And now let us run the program again. Let us give 3 as input so that we can get 6. Of course, it is working fine. So these are the two ways of finding factorial of a given number. So these are the very two basic approaches. We do have optimizations and we'll learn in the future coming sessions. Okay, and thanks for watching.